Yeah, I'm going to go over this Bob Beck protocol again because actually I put out a lot of these videos on these, whatever you want to call them, energy medicine, quote unquote, healing with electricity, microelectricity, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But I always put out that there's a lot of limitations on this stuff. It's like don't rely on it as your total crutch. It's going to be your main thing, and oh, blah blah blah. Right now, there's a lot of stuff out there on the Beck protocol, and a lot of vendors make different products. Now, actually, I found that in my personal viewpoint, the vendors that are not associated with Bob Beck, but just make things according to his plan, or you get better deals on. I think so. Sometimes I advocate that. Not that I have any financial connection to him at all. I don't. I get all kinds of people on the internet asking me to put their links on my videos, and they'll pay me money, and I freaking never ever take any up on any of that stuff. And there's loads of people asking me for car videos and camping gear, and I never even take up on any of that stuff, period. None of it. The stuff I advocate is stuff I use personally, right? And actually, I have this Dr. Clark Mag Zapper, and I kind of use it for the water and stuff like that. I don't really use it on the body. Anyway. But there's the Soda Instrument stuff. It's quality, but I think it's a bit pricey, in my opinion anyway. But it is quality. But I think you can get quality for less money. That's my personal opinion. And you can build it yourself, but actually, most of the time, that ain't going to be if you never built this yourself, it's more like you'd be better off buying it, because there's stuff on eBay for like, I don't know, $150 or $100, and it's professionally built. By the time you get involved with the shipping and all your time, it's never going to come out as good as what the pros did, unless you're an electrician guy or electronic engineer, and you solder, and then it makes sense. But you really ain't gonna. It's gonna wind up costing you more money unless you just buying a thing. I've seen stuff on eBay for like, I got a couple of the Bob Beck zappers, one for $75 and one for $80. I got a smart bid on from Silver Smoke Research. There's a couple other ones on eBay. They're very cheap. Bioelectric is cheaper than Soda, and I think they got more features. Just my opinion, man. That's not like they don't pay me to say this. Just my opinion. But here's where I want it. This is where I have a real beef with the freaking Beck protocol. Now, I'm going to show you exactly where I got this from, too. Bob Beck uses the word cure. The damn thing is not a freaking cure. It has helped people, yes. It also, from my estimation, it sure seems to give you better energy. I've used this damn thing a lot, man. I must have zapped, I don't know, hours. I mean, a good 8 hours a day for years, okay? And actually now I'm switching over to the power zapper, and I'm using the 4 hertz setting the most. I'm not even, but it's big. I find it's about the same damn thing, only probably better. But I'm still zapping all the time. But here's stuff that comes out from Bob Beck when you're using his protocol. No orthodox cancer treatments. Now, I know chemo kills people a lot of times, but it doesn't always. It all depends on the skill of the doctor. It's like, yeah, it's a toxic poison, but you got to balance it. That's the skill of the doctor. Sometimes the doctors don't have any skill or any scruples, too. I know that stuff. But the thing is, he's telling you don't listen to your doctor at all. If you get a good doctor, they can balance out a lot of different things with orthodox cancer treatments, and they don't always not work. No other alternative cancer treatments. None. He's like telling you not to do anything else. Like take, special herbs or anything like that, or icy tea, or, whatever, man. Gravolia, what is another herb out there that supposedly works? No, don't do any of that. No prescription drugs. Again, he's telling you, oh, don't do that. That's what I don't like about it. No painkillers, no blood thinners. So if the doctor's telling you to do this, blood thinners or whatever, I know they screw up. I don't like all these doctors. But what the hell is Bob Beck telling you? He knows more than the whole medical community, right? And, I know what's going on here because people don't trust the medical community, including moi. I don't trust them, okay? But I'm telling you, I don't trust this guy either, all right? No herbs, including no seasonings like turmeric, right? No turmeric, no cloves, no whatever. Come on. No garlic. No garlic, right? That's been used for what, thousands of years? Especially like if you use the aged garlic, which is really safe stuff. And he's saying while using your zapper because of blood transfection. Like, in other words, you got more absorbability of nutrients, right? No over-the-counter medications. No aspirin, no Tylenol, no vitamins. No vitamins. Somebody telling me, oh, he advocated mega-dosing vitamin C. No, we did not. No, we did not. It's right here. And I'm going to show where I got this from. This is official stuff. I've studied this for years, man. I'm telling you, I think it's good. But just, what I'm calling it? I'm calling it disinformation. The way disinformation works is you got a lot of truth mixed in with something. And you mix in garbage. The whole thing isn't garbage. But I'm just telling you, like, you want to try it, don't rely on it. And now there's people pushing it like it works for Ebola. Oh, BS. I mean, for crying out loud. No supplements. No supplements. No enzymes. No digestive enzymes. No alcohol. No recreation drugs. Coffee or tea. Red tea, green tea. What the hell is he talking about, right? So, I mean, it comes on with, a lot of stuff where, it's right off of here. Basically, you can get it right off of here. Altered States. I'll post the links. That's it. I mean, I've read this so many times on his works. So many times. Don't mix it with any alternative treatments. Don't mix it with any freaking conventional treatments. Just do this. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Me personally, I don't know about meds and cancer treatments and all that stuff, but I always took lots of vitamins and lots of herbs and lots of seasonings on my foods, and I was always doing the Beck Zapper all the time. I could not tell where it messed me up. I couldn't tell a problem with it. That was just my personal experience. I mean, I could tell you what my personal experience was. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, what the hell he's saying. I had zero problem with this deal. I was doing herbs, doing garlic, was doing vitamins and supplements, enzymes, and coffee and tea. That's what I was doing. I don't know. I didn't have a problem. That was me. I'm just saying me. But I've been doing this for years, and it wasn't just for a couple hours a day. It was more like 8 to 10 hours a day for years. Now, just in the last few months or so, I've been switched over to Power Zapper stuff all the way. But, I don't know. And, the other thing is on this deal, it says that it goes on with zapping the AIDS virus. This is the HIV virus. I know about this patent from Colley and Lyman back in 91, 92. It says reduce the ineffectivity of the HIV virus by 50 to 95%, according to what they discovered in the Einstein College of Medicine, New York City, right? That's what the hell it was. I think it was for Dr. William Lyman and Colley, Kaally. So, in other words, but they use DC voltage. They're not mentioning it here. Beck Zapper uses AC voltage. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but I'm telling you this right now. If they looked at this under a petri dish, the thing is, how did Beck determine that it worked with his zapper? Did he have the microscopes and stuff available? I don't think so, because I can tell you right now, all the feedback from people that did this zapper, it didn't work on HIV, period. And actually here, they're claiming it's protection against HIV. Talk about being a way to die. Now they're claiming, this vendor's claiming it's a good way to save you from Ebola. Now, in the case of HIV, they won't be able to determine that right away because some people say it don't exist. That's the other side. But with Ebola, hey, man, you're either going to be dead in a week or you're going to live. One or the other. I mean, HIV, you might be around for 15 years or more, right? So what the hell's the deal with this stuff? You know what I'm talking about? I mean, like they're talking right here that they're implying that the Beck protocol could be protection against HIV. Ooh, really? Yeah, sure. Anyway, now I'm going to tell you one that actually probably did a lot of work on cancers and HIV before Bob Beck, and actually Bob Beck worked with her, was Hulda Clark. Now I'm going to point to the link on this site. You know, these are all free plans. You can go on this site and you can build a Clark zapper for free. Now the other thing you can do though is you can use this calculator. See, I clicked on calculator, and you can put in the resistor values and the capacitor values, and you can come up with a different hertz for the zapper. So in other words, say you look up in a consolidated annotated frequency list, you know, you think, well, maybe this is a better frequency to use than 30,000 or something like that. In the case of HIV, it's supposed to be 3,554 is HIV specific, right? And you use positive offset, you can build your own zapper. Problem is, if you build your own zapper, it may not be accurate enough because these resistors and junk are nowhere near as accurate as what Royal Rife required when he talked about using a frequency. Now, Beck, another claim Beck said was that frequency doesn't matter. It does matter. What the hell do you think Royal Rife's work was about? But here we have Bob Beck, and I'll post these links. This is where, it sounds like I'm being mean with the guy, and he's being a nice guy, and he talks sweet and everything. I'm telling you the freaking flat-out truth, man. You got to watch this deal. Do I use the Bob Beck zapper? I used to use it all the time for years, right? I take the colloidal silver, use the ozonated water and stuff, and all this other junk. I got everything, man. But the thing is, I'm telling you, this guy is basically freaking telling everybody not to go over see a doctor. He's got a cure, and he don't. He don't. That's bad news. I'm not saying not to do it. I'm like an advocate of it. But I'm telling people, it's like it produces like energy, and sometimes it works for some people. But if you got a serious issue and you're relying on this garbage advice he's giving you here, hang it up, man. As a matter of fact, the best zapper right now, as far as zappers go, is the Power Zapper, my zapper, because it's got it's a frequency generator and a little cell phone sized thing. But will that work? I don't know. If that one don't work, none of them work. That's the way I put it, But there's other things out there even far beyond that. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little bit. But here we have the Bob Beck. You see, this is another thing. He's had the 11-part series on the YouTube. I'll point to all these videos. But at 20 seconds, Bob Beck says Dr. Royal Rife, the king of electromedicine, if you want to call it that way, he said that Bob Beck said Dr. Royal Rife did not cure anything unless the patient actually contacted the electrical current, like the skin had to touch the electrical current. That's what Bob Beck's saying. It's patently not true. Beck said Rife machines don't work. Even though Rife repeated these experiments hundreds of times on rats with the cancer virus, and he had the only known optical microscopes that can actually ascertain whether the virus was destroyed or not. It wasn't even until recent years that an optical microscope, in very recent years, that an optical microscope was developed that could see what Royal Rife did develop back in the 30s. They actually had that. Now here he goes on to say, Bob Beck, in the 9th part of this series, at 5 minutes and 46 seconds, Bob Beck says he's got to go cure some people in the CIA who contacted AIDS. And the method he outlined is the only cure. The Bob Beck protocol, right? He says he can't say where he's doing this. He also says the government is curing CIA agents with AIDS in secret. And the cure Bob Beck outlined is the only thing that works. It does not work in the slightest, and this was determined by medical doctors right in the beginning. It's flat out wrong. Now, there's other people that say HIV doesn't exist. Well, if you're going to say that, you shouldn't even worry about anything. You shouldn't even worry about, not anything. But it shouldn't be an issue right here about what Colley and Lyman said about the infecting the HIV virus. If you think it doesn't exist. It does exist, but, people will argue with me left and right about garbage like this. And I got to say this, the CIA would use medical doctors to determine the results. They're talking to their government. They're not going to say, how do you feel? Do you feel better? Oh, yeah, okay, you're cured. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to look at the blood and say, hey, you got better or what? I'm going to tell you right now, Beck had a lot of CIA, Intel Defense Department connections. He worked for the freaking military at high echelons with the woodpecker signal and stuff coming from the Soviet Union. He was in with the Defense Department a lot, and a lot of people in the Rife community that know a lot more about details on this guy from way back, other than, you know, what YouTubers just watch on the YouTube videos of him talking sweet. They know this guy better. They know this guy that you got to watch what he says. A lot of what he says is BS. That's the people in the Rife community. But does the Bob Beck zapper help you? A lot of times it freaking does. It makes you feel like you got more energy. That's what I figured out. Anyway, now the other thing here is, and this kind of portends of what's going on right now. Part 10 of 11, at 5 minutes and 45 seconds, he talks about a woman from Iraq and Iran smuggling into the USA in her body cavities biological germ warfare microbes that kill off millions in the USA. He says that after, you know, they want to see, it says that World War III will mainly be waged with biological weapons because they don't want to destroy the real estate. That kind of makes sense, but it also kind of, you know, I thought about this when he said this back in 1999. Now, because ISIS is trying to come over here, and, you know, they're claiming that they want to bring Ebola over to the USA, and now vendors are selling Bob Beck zappers like they're a cure for Ebola, and I'm telling people, you're going to freaking die if you're freaking relying on that garbage. It ain't going to work, man. It ain't going to work. All right? Period. And, you know, I'm telling you, not even, I mean, his advice is flat out, while you're doing his zappers, you know, no over-the-counter medications, no garlic, no herbs, no blood thinners, no vitamins, no supplements, no enzymes, no tea. Come on, man. No prescription drugs, nothing, man, nothing. His zapper does everything. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Is his zapper something that he could have patented? I doubt it. Doubt it, because it's been around a long time. This stuff has been around a long time. First off, Hulda Clark preceded him. He worked with Hulda Clark. Then after he worked with her, and now I have some of Hulda Clark's books on cancers, AIDS, and cures for all diseases, and she documents hundreds of people, hundreds, with actual blood tests. I have never seen anything from Beck that did that. None. Zero. They'll say they have them, but I've never seen anything published. Period. You might have a testimony. Somebody say, yes, I got better. Really? Okay, great. But, you know, in the case of Hulda Clark, she's got pages and pages and pages of stuff. Now, Hulda Clark said with her zapper, which is positive offset, she said the reason they use positive offset, he says because the electricity goes one way. Microbes and the body's cells are oppositely charged. The body cells are negative, and microbes are generally positive. So what she's saying is the electricity going on one side, which actually shorting out the microbes, according to her, and supercharging and charging up the body cells with the electrical battery. Actually, each cell in the body is sort of like a little battery, will charge them up. She says to do, if you're sick with some serious illness like cancer or AIDS or something, to do the zapping 8 hours a day, and it's not the only thing in her whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to do. So it's not simple like the Bob Beck protocol, and it's not 2 hours a day of zapping. It's 8 hours. I don't even know how people could do that, but that's what she said. Now, you can actually make your own zappers with this. Any type of frequency you want. You'd have to check it out, but whatever. Now, I actually want to point to somebody else about John Bedini. This guy, man, you should take a look at his site. He's got some cool stuff on here. I don't understand everything. Actually, this guy's got, he says, I am a research engineer, not a medical doctor. And he worked with Dr. Strechter, which was, he was trying to resurrect some of the work of Royal Rife. And I don't know, they jumped all over these people. They knew John Crane, Rife's assistant. Now, actually, when I read up on John Crane, the guy was not, he didn't know everything about Grow Rife did, exactly, but he wasn't stupid. He was the one that actually came up with the pad type, quote unquote, Rife machines. They're kind of like dumbed down work of what Rife did exactly without using radio waves. But even John Bedini will tell you in here that they don't work. Well, let me put it, Crane said they work sometimes. But if you had a serious issue, they don't work. They don't work. Now, is that because of the accuracy or because you didn't use positive offset? I don't know. I mean, I know like now you got like the Parazapper My Zapper has not a 555 timer. It's got a 16 megahertz oscillator in there, crystal control, so the frequency's dead on accurate. And so at least it's accurate, because Royal Rife said if it's off 1/20th of 1/10 of a percent, in other words, a half of a tenth of a percent, right? Excuse me, that's what it was, a half of a tenth of a percent. If it's off by that much, it won't work. So any of these things working with resistors, they don't work because they can nowhere get near the accuracy, and that might be part of the problem with Crane zappers, why they were hit and miss. And the other deal is the positive offset. But now Holder Clark figured out positive offset. The Parazapper has the positive offset. I don't know, maybe it might work, but if that don't work, nothing works. That it's a zapper. That I already figured out. I mean, that's the best deal going. But here, if you look at Bedini's work, here's Crane's trade certificate. If you look at Bedini's work, it's he shows like some of the waves and stuff. They're like it's not simple. It's not simple. They're complicated. It's complicated stuff. It's not simple. So, I mean, if somebody tells you, like Bob Beck, who knew all this type of stuff, because he was the top of the freaking field. He was the top of microelectricity. He's going around and telling you to get, $15 worth or $20 worth of Radio Shack components or whatever. Back then they were like $5. Now they're probably like $35. That's why, you're probably better off just buying one. But, get $35 in today's money of Radio Shack components, and you can cure any disease. It's definitely not that simple, man. Definitely not. So I just want to put this out because there's a lot of people still believing this bullshit that freaking Bob Beck put out. And, it's like, I'm not telling you not to do it, but just don't rely on it. And, all this other stuff here, if the doctor tells you, you'll figure out which doctor is good. I mean, if some doctors, they get a reputation. In other words, this doctor killed this one, that one, that one, that one. Don't go to that one, right? Skip that one. This other doctor, you got all these people saying, oh, yeah, I had cancer this, I had cancer that. He helped me. Well, if he tells you, if he's a good guy like that, he gets the job done most of the time, right? And he tells you to do a cancer treatment, do it. Come on. Are you going to rely on a zapper? Because Bob Beck said a cute, nice speech about, oh, yeah, they don't want you to know about this and it's free. Okay, man, whatever. So, anyway, Ebola will kill your ass if you freaking rely on a bag zapper. That's all I got to say about this deal. And you know what? No matter how many times they say it, the internet is awash with idiots, man, all over the place. I put a video out about Peter Duesberg. I got all freaking kinds of people going, oh, Peter Duesberg, he said HIV doesn't exist, or it's harmless. It's harmless. That's what it was. It's harmless. It's harmless. Okay, it's harmless, whatever you say. Yeah, okay. So did Christine McGuire. She said it was harmless, too. So, anyway, Bob Beck, no herbs, no seasonings. Okay, no garlic, no strong over-the-counter medications, no aspirin, no vitamins, no supplements, no enzymes, no tea. Okay, whatever, Bob. Anyway, if he followed his own device, I don't know what the hell's it with. I almost suspect, I do think he was, I might personally think he was disinformation. You know, what happened to the SEAL team, whatever the hell it was that found Bin Laden, right? They all got blown up in a helicopter. Well, Bob Beck had an accident, you know? That's what I'm thinking, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too conspiratorial, but you're pretty conspiratorial if you think that something this damn simple of the Beck protocol could cure anything, like Bob Beck says. He can cure anything. If you think something this damn simple wouldn't have been out all over the place, people would have known this. Because a lot of people found out it's bullshit. And it killed a lot of people, too. It actually killed a lot of people by them relying on this bullshit. I'm telling you right now, it's not bad to try it. It's not bad to try it as in conjunction with something else. It does seem to provide energy to a lot of people. But if you think that this thing for $29 with components or whatever it is, you know, whatever he said, you know, I mean, he says it's got like $20 worth of components, and you know, it's like $250 if you buy one plus $40 shipping, you know. So figure that out too. But anyway, you know, I just got to tell you, man, you got to watch. You got to watch what the deal is with this shit, because it's not simple. It's just not simple. It's not simple. Actually, if there's something out there that's actually a cure for a lot of diseases, it's not going to be one frequency. I know Bob Beck said frequency didn't matter. Yeah, I know. Somebody's going to say to me, I don't understand. Yeah, I do understand. I do understand. Because the thing is, you know, they're going to tell me, oh, it's just the electricity that stuns it. Well, yeah, I know that. I know that. But you know, I'm going to tell you again. I don't know where Bob Beck was able to determine he was doing the same work as Colley and Lyman. Because Colley and Lyman used DC electricity. They did not use a pulsed AC current. They did not. They used DC electricity. And they had the equipment. You know how small these viruses are that they're looking at? How is Beck able to determine that it was stunning the HIV virus or the cancer virus? How was he able to determine that? How? I mean, I don't even know how Colley and Lyman did it, because as far as I know, there wasn't any Rife microscopes in around that you could observe, you know, live viruses that small. That didn't come about till just recently. There were, like, if you look at something under electron microscope or something, you kill the virus. So how did they know? How did they know? I mean, for crying out loud, he's referencing a patent. He's not referencing some documented medical work on people. It was a patent he references. The patent, a lot of times, is more of a theory than, you know, ironclad. You know, it's definitely going to work in the real world. And the other thing is, say, for instance, didn't this just, it made viri and everything ineffective in the blood. You got several times that amount in the lymph system. Now I know people are going to come at me and go, oh, you got the pulsar. The pulsar doesn't do shit. I'm going to tell you that right now. You could take this pulsar and you could pulse a petri dish full of culture for freaking all day, and you're not going to kill it. And you say, oh, it's supposed to move the microbes out of the lymph system into the blood where they get zapped. Oh, really? How did you determine that? Well, based upon Bob Beck's words only? I'm telling you this for a reason. I don't want people to die. But, you know, if you're going to argue with me about this bullshit and you keep arguing with me, I'm not going to listen to it, period. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to listen to it. This is more of a public service announcement than anything. When I put out anything on alternative medicine, whatever you want to call it, quote unquote, or healing with microelectricity, I always tell you to verify all your results with the real medical people. And don't go relying on it like a crutch, like Bob Beck said to do. Because I can guarantee you right now, his protocol is actually pretty damn weak. When you're using, there's actually a patent out, I'll mention it in here because I got to go long on this. There's actually a patent out on using pulsing to inactivate microbes that's at 20,000 Gauss plus. The strongest pulsar out there on the market is about 5,500 to 6,000 gauss. It's way short. In that patent, it's 20,000 gauss or plus. That's not a guarantee it's going to inactivate microbes. It's not a guarantee. So the whole thing is like, people are going to, if they rely on this, if people start relying on this bullshit for Ebola, kiss their ass goodbye. They're dead. And, you know, I mean, maybe the omega dosing of vitamin C might work. That's extreme amounts. You might want to look up Dr. Levy, Dr. Cathcart, and I'm going to repeat again. Bob Beck never, ever advocated mega dosing vitamin C. As a matter of fact, if you take it directly from him, no vitamins. No vitamins, no herbs. So I don't know how you're going to do a liver or kidney cleanse. Or no herbs, no vitamins, no garlic, no aspirin, no enzymes, no supplements, no tea, no other alternative cancer treatments, no prescription drugs. I mean, what the hell else could be more blatant than this? Am I telling you not to do it? No. I think it's good. Just got to watch. You got to filter out what is. It's not a cure-all, man. No way in hell. No way in hell. So I got to say about this dog good stuff, because people still are not getting the message what the hell I'm trying to say here, and they're going to freaking go off the cliff, and I'm thinking, well, good, go off the cliff, but you know, problem is those kind of people are telling other people to go off the cliff with them. And like I said, I do not advocate this stuff as some kind of cure-all for anything, even if you're using something that's far more advanced than the Bob Beck protocol. I mean, light years advanced than the Bob Beck protocol. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I don't know. I think this stuff a lot better than the Bob Beck protocol. Like, well, let me put it this way. I was talking about the Spooky 2 Rife, well, whatever you call it, Rife or frequency generator or scalar remote Rife or whatever the hell you want to call it. But the whole damn kit is only $200. I mean, a lot of zappers out there are more than that. I mean, Power Zappers sells zappers that are like, I don't know, 30 frequencies or something for like 29 frequencies for $159. Do what the hell you want, man. I look for the best deals for me, and I pass that on. I don't freaking get, they don't pay me nothing to say this. That's all I'm doing. Best deals for me, and I'm telling you what I did. That's it.